The Hall of Fantasy was a dark series where the supernatural forces of darkness often triumphed. When it comes to the Hall of Fantasy, there are some mysteries that persist to this day. That's appropriate because it claimed to be the series of radio dramas dedicated to the supernatural, the unusual, and the unknown. One mystery that remains uncertain is who the announcer was. His lines were never over the top. Maybe he wished to remain anonymous. Despite this campy dimension to the program, do not assume that the series wasn't scary. Many episodes were frightening. If the dark, desolate atmospheres didn't get at your nerves, the downbeat endings usually did. And tonight, the Riverside Township Radio Players will present the Hall of Fantasy version of The Shadow People.
Waiting for Ben? Okay. And now, the Hall of Fantasy. Welcome to the Hall of Fantasy. Welcome to the series of radio dramas dedicated to the supernatural, the unusual, and the unknown. Come with me, my friends. We shall descend into the world of the unknown and forbidden, down to the depths where the veil of time is lifted and the supernatural reigns as king. Come with me and listen to the tale of the Shadow People.
Elaine, have you seen anything else since you spoke to me last?
No, I haven't, David. Ever since Mother died, nothing's happened.
Well, I only hope that...
Ah! Well, what's that?
It came from upstairs. Come on.
Well, you don't think...
I don't know what to think. Come on. I only hope...
Oh, David, if anything's happened to him...
We'll see in a moment.
Well, there's no light in his room.
You wait here, Elaine. Come on. Where's the light?
Over on your left. David, what's wrong? Why didn't you leave the light on?
Your father's dead, Elaine.
In just a moment, the Hall of Fantasy will present the Shadow People.
Somewhere along the line of your life, you've met them. You have come in contact with the Shadow People. When did we first discuss it? Oh, yes. Brian and Elaine and I. It was in my apartment. There was only one light on in the entire place.
Oh! What's wrong?
Elaine, what's the matter?
It's silly. I know, but I thought I saw something in that doorway over there.
Where?
Over there. Right over there. Where are you going, David?
Well, over to that archway. Just to let you know that there's nothing here.
There, you see, Elaine? Nothing's wrong. Nothing at all.
Are you satisfied that there's no one else here but us?
Yes, Oh, I'm sorry. I just thought that I'd seen... We'll leave the overhead lights on.
I'm sorry. I just thought...
Put them back on, David, please.
All right, Elaine.
Well, what's bothering you, sis?
Oh, I don't know, Brian. It's just that... Oh, I don't know.
Well, tell us about it, Elaine. Tell us what's bothering you.
You promised that you won't laugh at me?
Of course not.
Brian,
Well, Elaine, I'm your brother. If something's troubling you, I'd like to know about it.
all right then. The reason I was so upset was the fact that I saw someone or something standing in that archway.
But Elaine, David showed you that there was no one else in here. When the lights were put on, you saw for yourself that we were all alone.
Oh, I'm not talking about something you can see in the light, Brian. I'm not talking about a human being.
Then what's it all about, Elaine?
In the darkness, I saw something that can't be seen in a lighted area, and I've seen it several times before.
You're sure you're not imagining this, Elaine?
Oh, I don't have a good imagination, Brian.
Well, how long have you, how long have you been seeing this thing, Elaine?
Oh, well, it started about 6 weeks ago. You were in Detroit on business, Brian, and Mom and Dad were on vacation. I was in the house by myself, in the library. There was only one light on. I sat in the chair beneath it, reading. Several times I thought that something was watching me. I felt that there was someone in the room with me, standing right in the back of me. Every so often I'd glance back over my shoulder, but there seemed to be nothing there. And then I thought I heard someone whispering.
I'm going to get you.
Oh, I wasn't sure, but when I heard it again, I got up and I looked all over the house. Oh, but I'm not easily frightened, you know that, but out in the hallway, it was almost entirely black. Luckily, I was near a light switch. I looked back over my shoulder and I saw this huge, hulking shape for the first time. And I heard a voice, or rather, the whisper of a voice. I couldn't distinguish the words, but that dark shape seemed to be moving towards me. My hand was on the light switch and I turned it on. The minute the light flooded the hallway, the shape was gone. There was nothing there. I was alone again. Oh, as long as there's light, I know it can't hurt me. I know it can't reach me.
Well, you might have imagined it, you know.
Oh, of course that's possible, but I'm sure I didn't. It was so real. So real, that shape in the darkness. It was the very essence of evil itself.
There was an old man I knew, a Dr. Heselius. I'd heard that he knew quite a good deal about the supposed supernatural manifestations which had taken place in the world. I went to him to see if he knew anything that might explain the events of the story Elaine had told us.
Yes, my good sir. What do you wish?
I have an appointment with Dr. Heselius.
Oh, yes, yes. He mentioned something about it. You are Mr. Drake?
Yes,
If you'll come inside.
thank you.
Dr. Heselius is in the study. Please come with me. Doctor, a visitor for you.
Oh, yes. Bring him in. And you may go now.
Yes, doctor.
Mr. Drake,
Yes.
sit down, please. In that chair over there.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Now, what is the nature of your visit to me?
Well, I understand, Dr. Heselius, that you have a great knowledge of the supernatural manifestations which have occurred on the earth.
Great knowledge, Mr. Drake? No, hardly that. I have only scratched the surface in my years of study. I can help you. Then again, I cannot.
Well, may I tell you a story?
By all means, my good sir.
All right, now this didn't happen to me, Doctor, but to my fiancée. It seems that about 6 weeks ago, when she was alone, but But when the light was on, the dark form disappeared. And that's the story, sir, as much of it as I can remember.
I see. It's a strange tale you tell.
I'm fully aware of that, Dr. Hacelius.
You say she seemed to hear whispered voices?
Yes, that's what she says.
I see. A moment, please. I have a book in my files. Oh, yes, here it is. I believe this is the one. Yes. Perhaps I may be able to help you after all. Let me see. This is a very ancient book, Mr. Drake. I seem to remember. Yes, here is an account of a happening such as you relate. And we shall live on the earth as they shall not see us. Yes, it has been foretold
by the ruler of darkness. They who live by day and retire to sleep by night shall never know that we walk with them, that we watch them, that we wait for our chance. Only in the night they will see us, for in the daylight we are not seen. Only in the night, when the darkness grows together and the forms of the shadow people are shaped from blackness,
will they know of us, and they will know that we are their companions, for we are the shadow people. I knew I had read something similar to the story you have told me, Mr. Drake.
Dr. Hacelius, what can we do?
Well, give me a little time. Let me see if I can find any more references to these people of the darkness. One more thing, Mr. Drake.
Yes?
Be sure that your fiancée is never left alone at night. Be sure that there is some living thing, animal or human, which accompanies her every second of the night. For she is in danger, Mr. Drake, a terrible danger.
Back now to our story, an original tale of fantasy by Richard Thorns entitled The Shadow People.
That night, the night of the day I had seen Hacelius, Elaine's mother died. She died in her sleep. When she failed to appear for breakfast, Elaine's father had went upstairs to see what was wrong. When he entered her room, he discovered that she was dead. The family doctor couldn't explain it, for Elaine's mother had been in perfect health. A few weeks later, I was out at the house, spending a weekend with them, and I glanced at the clock on the mantel, and it showed 11.
I can't understand why Brian hasn't returned from town.
Well, he said he had some extra work to catch up on. He told me this morning that he might be late.
Well, 11 o'clock. I'm going upstairs. Glad you came out, David. Good seeing you again.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here, sir.
Well, don't stay up too late. See you both in the morning. Good night.
Good night, Dad.
Good night, Mr. Davis.
He isn't the same, David. Ever since Mother died, he hasn't been the same.
I didn't realize that until tonight. He has changed.
I only hope that he'll start living again. Ever since she died, it seems that a part of him died with her.
Elaine, have you seen anything else since you spoke to me last?
No, I haven't, David. Ever since Mother died, nothing's happened.
Well, I only hope that it's...
Yes. What's that?
It came from upstairs.
Well, you don't think.
I don't know what to think. I only hope that...
Oh, David, if anything's happened to him.
Well, we'll see in a moment.
Well, there's no light in his room.
You wait here, Elaine.
Oh.
Where's the light?
Over on your left. David, What's wrong? Why didn't you leave the light on?
Your father's dead, Elaine. I had walked into the darkened bedroom. On the bed was Elaine's father. It didn't take a second look for me to know that he was dead. I had switched off the light and walked back into the hallway to tell Elaine what happened. And then from the room, there had come an eerie, quiet laughter. In the darkness of that room was some unknown evil power. The voice itself was unearthly. There was no substance to it. It sounded as if it came from the darkness itself.
No, I don't believe you.
It's the truth, Elena. There's nothing more I can do. We have to notify the police.
Tell me it's not true, David. Tell me it's not true.
I'm sorry, Elaine. I wish I could. Your father's dead.
No.
After the burial, Dr. Hacelius got in touch with me. He said he wanted to meet both Elaine and Brian, that he wanted to talk to the three of us. Accordingly, a few nights later, he came out to their house.
Miss Davis, will you tell me just when you saw the first manifestation?
The night Brian was in Detroit.
Now, Miss Davis, you have even seen this apparition in the company of other people, is that not correct?
Yes, the night at David's apartment.
All right. Now, I'll tell you what I think. You are in deadly danger, Miss Davis. These beings want to claim you. So far, they have had no success. Only in the darkness do they have power. Little by little, step by step, they have been removing the obstacles in their way to reaching you. First your mother, then your father, Miss Davis. Both died in the same fashion, in the darkness that struck at them. Now, tell me, do you feel their presence here in this room as I talk to you?
Yes.
Turn out the lights, Brian.
But
Stand by the switch, if you please, Brian. If anything happens, turn the lights back on.
all right.
Dr. Hacelius, I don't think this
Do
is
you
getting...
want me to continue working with you?
Yes, sir.
All right, then. Brian, turn off the lights.
Yes, doctor.
The room now is in darkness, Miss Davis. Do you feel anything?
No, Yes. Yes, I do.
Do you see anything?
Yes.
Doctor, I don't think...
Be quiet, you fool. I know what I'm doing.
In front of me, the darkness gathering together into a huge, terrible...
Not only do you see us, Miss Davis, but everyone else in this room also will see the vague shapes forming themselves in the blackness. We do not want you, Dr. Hacelius, the girl we want. We advise you to drop this case. Not only bring down the wrath of the shadow people upon your head, the girl. We want the girl. Do not stop us. Let us take her now.
The lights, turn on the lights.
They're gone.
Miss Davis, are you all right?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Yeah, just as she said, the darkness. I saw it form into something too.
So did I. What are we going to do, Dr. Hacelius?
At the present moment, I don't know. But this much I do know. You must leave this house immediately. You must try to get out of their reach. I don't know if that is possible. I hope it is. I shall have to return to my home. I must learn if there is some manner by which we can defeat these creatures. For the moment, leave this house. Dispose of it in any manner you may see fit, but leave this house.
back now to our story, an original tale of fantasy by Richard Thorne entitled The Shadow People.
We spent the night in my apartment, the three of us. The following day, Brian and Elaine made arrangements to dispose of the house. In the afternoon, Dr. Hecelius called me and asked that I come to see him.
David, I'm glad you're here.
Anything new, Doctor?
Yes and no. You realize, of course, that this spiritual manifestation is not new, that it has gone on for centuries.
No, I wasn't aware of that.
It's true, David. De Maupassant wrote what was supposedly a fiction story about the manifestation, David. He called it the Horla. However, according to the information here on my desk, it was taken from an actual case history. Of course, he embroidered the story, added a few touches to something he didn't realize actually existed.
But have you found anything with which we can fight them?
Everything depends upon an answer I received from a colleague of mine in Paris, Dr. Henri Renaud. I dispatched a telegram to him last night.
Well, why hasn't he answered by now?
There are certain things that must be done. It will take a few days, I'm afraid. We have to wait, David. There's nothing else we can do.
In the next few days, the house was sold, and Brian and Elaine moved into a newer, more modern house a few miles from my apartment. Cecilia said that it might take a few days for them to build up their power. I spent the nights at the new house. The lights were left on, and I watched for any unusual occurrence. In the daytime, I'd return to my apartment and get some sleep. About 4 days after Elaine and Brian moved into the new house, I was at home when Hecelius phoned me. Hello?
David?
Yes, Dr. Hecelius.
I have to tell you this, David.
What's the matter? What's wrong?
They were a step ahead of me, David. I just received word that Renaud died, or was killed, at the very moment I sent a telegram to him.
Step by step, they had outwitted us, for they had anticipated every move we'd make. Even Dr. Hecelius was at a loss to know what to do. He agreed to meet me at the Davis house.
What did you want to see us about, Dr. Hecelius?
Did you find out anything more?
I'm sorry to say that I haven't. At the moment, I'm at a complete loss. I don't know what to do.
But what did you want to see us about this evening?
Merely to check to see if anything else has happened. Miss Davis, have you seen or heard anything?
Not in the house. Only in my dreams.
Your dreams?
Yes. When I go to sleep at night, in my dreams, in the darkness, I see them.
Then it's grown worse, much worse. I was hoping that it would not have progressed so far. There has been no disturbance in this house, but now they disturb your sleep, Miss Davis. Now you must stay awake for as long as you can. I want the three of you to move into my house. Perhaps that will give you more protection.
That night we moved to Hecelius' house. Perhaps Elaine would have more protection there. From there, we might be able to devise some plan of action, some way to beat those beings. For a few days, things were quiet. The shadow people seemed to have withdrawn. For a while, I thought that we might have succeeded in thwarting their purpose. Elaine no longer complained of troubled sleep. But that condition lasted for a few days only. About 10 days later, they made themselves known and felt again. That night, we were in the study when suddenly Hecelius whirled around and...
Elaine, what are you looking at?
Outside the house, right where the lights leave off, I see them.
She's right, Dr. Hecelius. I can see them too.
What should we do, Doctor?
Nothing.
What do you mean, nothing?
There's nothing we can do.
We can't just sit
We
here and...
can't do anything, Brian. Don't you understand that they have us at their mercy? greatest man in my field was Henri Renault. If he could do nothing against them, what do you think we can do?
Oh, he's right, Brian. There's nothing we can do.
If the house remains lighted, just so long will they remain outside. If the lights were to...
Oh, that sounds like...
The night father was killed. The same sound. We heard the same sound.
The lights. What's happened to the lights?
Oh,
Be quiet, please. I thought of this emergency.
oh, a candle.
That's right, Miss Davis. As long as this burns, this one candle will be safe, for they cannot advance into the light. They are limited by the darkness. As long as the candle burns, they will have to remain outside of this room.
Around you in every room of this house, in the darkness outside, we are around you. This time you shall not escape. This time we will claim you.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, take it easy, Brian.
I can't stand it. I'm getting out of here.
Wait, what? Oh, no, Brian, come back.
Don't be a fool. Oh, I'm going after him.
Stay here.
We can't let him just go.
He won't have a chance. I doubt that he can... Miss Davis, I'm afraid your brother is dead.
Oh, Brian, why did you run away? Why? No.
The wind doctor. Listen to the wind.
I know.
Yes, Doctor, listen to the wind. You must realize by now that the three of you haven't a chance. You must know in your minds that we can destroy you at any moment we desire. But Dr. Hazelius, you may still save your own life. Let the others go. Give them to us.
No, you will have to take all of us.
Shall we destroy your life? Shall we move in on you now?
As you wish. Do as you will. I'm sorry, David. The candle is out.
In the darkness, the figures in the darkness. We warned you, Hazelius. You and the others are all dead now, and we shall live on the earth, and man in the day shall not see us. They will know that we wait for our chance, and we walk with them. Only in the night, when the darkness grows together and the forms of the shadow people are shaped from the blackness, will they see us. They will know that we are their companions. Look next to you. There is shadows.
So runs tonight's tale of the unusual, the terrifying, and the unknown. Join us again when next week we journey down the corridors of the Hall of Fantasy to hear another strange tale of the supernatural. All characters and events portrayed in these programs are fictional, and any similarity to actual events or persons, living or dead, is purely coincidental.
We hope We hope you have enjoyed tonight's performances. This last program was a little different. We had several blood-curdling screams, an ending where everyone died, and as a surprise, we reversed all the male and female roles. Mr. Davis, Elaine's father, was played by Nellie Brennan. The cultured woman was played by Jay Summerfield. The announcer was played by Kathy Juarez. Brian, Elaine's brother, was played by Sue Kaczynski. The creepy shadow was played by Allison Byhan. Dr. Hecilius was played by Ellie Batka. David, Elaine's fiancé, was played by Donna Amesmeyer. Elaine was played by John Byhan. We need to thank our industrious press secretary, who has been ill lately, Amy Nieves, for her heroic efforts to get us press coverage. We have two members in our group who arrive early and remain to the very end to make sure our great recordings of each performance. Our technical staff, John Gelsomino on the soundboard, who also makes sure that we are on Twitter, and Lawrence Cordova, staffing the video camera. He presents us on Facebook. Each month, one of our hardest working members puts in many hours behind the scenes preparing for our shows. Our fantastic Foley artist, Marty McNulty. Marty is also our webmaster, who makes it possible for you to see many of our past shows at our website, riversidetownshipradioplayers.com. That's all in one word. Our co-directors for November will be Tom Duggan and Ellie Batka, who will each tell you about next month's program. Tom?
As we have done in the past, we've tried several shows that work over and over and over. We have done that again in the month of November. The name of the show is Richard Diamond, Private Detective. And we have done several of these shows from the series, and we have done another one called The Carnival. Just a quick note about Richard Diamond. Dick Powell played the role from the beginning to the very end, and it began on April 24th, 1947, and ended on September 20th, 1953. There was a TV version of it, but it wasn't as popular as the radio version. David Jansen played the part of Richard Diamond. A quick note, this will be presented On November 22nd, 2019, I don't need to tell you what the significance of that particular date in history is, but this is the first time that I can remember that we hit one on November 22nd. Next month, I will be presenting that. I will be the director. And Ellie Babka will be presenting the other program, which she's going to talk to you about now.
Thanks, Tom. Okay, the other show is going to be a comedy, unlike tonight. I don't know what he's planning for next October, so just, hang in there. It's going to be a Burns and Allen show. And I think it's, let's see if I can remember the title, Gracie's Turkey Swallows a Wedding Ring. Is that right? I think that's it. And lots of, Gracie is Gracie. So I do hope you'll come, and that's November 22nd. That's a week before Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is going to be the end of the month. And we're so happy to see you today, and thank you so much for coming.
Tom and Ellie promise a fantastic evening of fun for the whole family. Be sure to come and bring the kids and grandkids, as well as a friend or two. Remember, a good word from you is the best advertisement for our programs. Of course, we would not be able to bring you these programs without the unwavering support provided by Supervisor Vera Wilt and the trustees of Riverside Township. We will see you again right here next month on November 22nd at 7:30 p.m. This has been a Riverside Township presentation. Thank you for coming. Good night, good evening, thank you.